So you covered a particularly shocking court case last week involving the death of an innocent pedestrian. Could you tell us a bit about that, please, Sarah?
Yeah, it was involving a defendant called Brandon South, who at the time was 21 years old, and he killed a pedestrian with his Skoda Fabia. And basically what happened was Brandon was travelling about 74 miles an hour in the seconds before the fatal collision. He attempted what the judge, the Recorder of Sheffield, Judge Jeremy Richardson, King's Counsel, described as a dangerous overtaking manoeuvre. He overtook two vehicles and then was essentially on the wrong side of the road. He was seconds away from a head-on collision, and so he essentially tried to overcorrect. He lost control of his vehicle and ended up going onto the grass verge and then the pavement, and in the process he killed the pedestrian, a 43-year-old man called Robert Chessman, in the process.
What was particularly shocking leading up to this collision? What had he been doing? Because he was on his phone beforehand, wasn't he?
Yeah, so a shocking element of this case is the fact that Brandon filmed himself speeding and then uploaded these videos to Facebook, and so the police were able to obtain these videos from his social media accounts, and he could be seen sort of laughing as he was listening to sort of dance music and travelling at speeds of 80 miles an hour. They couldn't pinpoint exactly where he was speeding at the time, but they could see 80 miles an hour on the speedometer, and certainly from CCTV they also knew that he was speeding around the village of Warmarsh and Rotherham at speeds, of up to 80 miles an hour, and this was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so when after the fatal crash, one of the first things that Brandon did was to throw his phone into a bush, and they were wondering whether that was connected to what he knew he'd been doing in terms of uploading these videos onto social media.
This must have been shocking for witnesses to this collision. I understand that people stepped in to try and save the pedestrian.
That's right, yeah, members of the public who were around at the time, bearing in mind this is sort of the middle of the day, they tried their best to save Mr. Chessman. CPR was started and emergency services were called, but despite the best efforts of everyone involved, he sadly could not be saved and died from his injuries. What
did the judge, the Recorder of Sheffield, say when he sentenced this boy racer?
After viewing the videos that Brandon had posted to his social media, the judge said that it was quite clear that he has a penchant for driving fast, dangerously fast. And another thing to mention about the social media videos is that he was also seen to turn off the traction control on the car, and when asked why this was relevant, the prosecutor said that it was sort of believed to have, essentially resulted in or been a contributing factor in his loss of control of the vehicle.
What was What was Brandon South charged with, and what was his sentence?
So South was charged with causing death by dangerous driving, and when he was sent at Sheffield Crown Court on Friday, he was given 7.5 years. He was also given a driving ban. Initially it was supposed to be a driving ban of 5 years, but they increased it to 8 years 9 months to reflect the time he's likely to spend behind bars, because he'll probably spend about half of his sentence in custody.